Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Diana. If you don't know me, which you probably don't, I have a lot of trust issues, especially with hairdressers, and I just have not had the best of experiences with the ones nearby me. So if you don't want to go to a hairdresser to ask for a trim and fear that you're going to get like 5 inches cut off, then I hope this tutorial is helpful to you. This is how I personally like to cut my hair. I feel like it just gives me lots of layers and I can take off as little or as much length as I would like. I apologize in advance for my crusty appearance in this video. So with that being said, if this sounds like something you might enjoy, please keep watching. Now, if you've heard of the unicorn method, this might be pretty familiar to you. Basically, I'm just going to take wet hair and bring it all the way to the front, making a ponytail at my hairline. Now, I wasn't trying to do anything super drastic, so you will see that I did not cut very much off. I was just cutting off any like straggly ends, I guess. And if you see any outliers after making a snip, feel free to go back in and try again. I did use these pair of scissors to make the ends less blunt. And that's about it for the first step, and we're actually going to repeat that 2 more times. So I'm going to take another section starting like from the top of my ears all the way back, and I'm going to once again bring it into a ponytail to put at the very top, or I guess front of my head. Do make sure that it's as even as possible. You don't want any wonky layers, but you know, if it's not perfect, it's fine. I am just going to brush it out a bit to make sure it's completely even. And I personally took off 4 fingers, not off my hand of course, but that was just the way I chose to measure it. And once you've cut that excess off and taken some thinning shears to make it less blunt, I would recommend brushing your hair again because you are going to take yet another section. I like to take this one from above my eyebrows and bring it all the way back. And once again, I'm going to take off another 4 fingers of length off my hair. And I do personally like to use an elastic or something to kind of just solidify my decision. And then again, just snip it off and use some thinning shears. And that's pretty much it for the layers. Honestly, you could stop here if you would like to. However, I do prefer curtain bangs, and that's what I'm getting ready for in just a second here. I'm just brushing out my hair for the 50th time. I could not find like a comb with the tail or whatever it's called. So honestly, I just used a paintbrush from like high school or something to part my hair. I can only speak for a center part. If you like part your head to the side, I'm not quite sure if this would work. And of course, just go ahead and do this on the other side. It might not be perfect, so I, like, for example here, I just kind of went back in and just tried to make it as straight of a line as I could. Now, I would recommend pushing everything else back just so you don't get confused. Now, for this specific event, as you can see, my curtain bangs were quite outgrown. They were honestly probably towards like the end of my neck, right? Like at the collarbone. So what I ended up doing was like using my chin as the shortest point and using the length it's already at it as its longest point. I hope that makes sense. I do think I ended up chopping a little bit more than that, but basically I did like a diagonal cut starting from my chin to the end. It wasn't perfect, of course, so I did have to go back in, and I know this is going to be a little bit hard to see. I had to keep my hair on top of the sink so that I wouldn't just get hair everywhere on the floor. And for the other side, I kind of do it reverse, like I start from the bottom up, because it's just hard to cut on that side. I kind of had to go back in quite a few times just to make sure that both sides were even and that both sides had like the same amount of tilt to it, if that makes sense. And by this point it looked pretty good to me, so I decided to leave it at that. Now we're not quite done yet, so once again I'm going to try to find like the highest point in the mirror, if that makes sense, and I'm kind of just brushing the front of my hair. I don't know how to describe this, but like from that point forward, because that's the only part that's going to matter here. And then I'm going to take all of that to the front and everything else can be pulled back. And I'm just doing another quick diagonal cut from the end point of the bangs to like the length of the layer. Again, I know you couldn't see that. I am so sorry, but I hope that I'm making some sort of sense, and just, you know, make sure that it's even, at least as even as you can get it. It's probably not going to be perfect on the first try, so, you know, just like cut off little by little, because you can't bring that length back. And that's about it. Now if you want to see a shorter version of the curtain bangs, be sure to stick around, but if this is the type of look that you are looking for, this is how I personally style it, and if you style your hair in any way similar to this is what you want, then you can be done. And this is what it looks like about a month later with it a bit more grown out, so if you are scared to cut your curtain bangs and whatnot, you can definitely leave them a bit longer as well. While I was recording this like 1 month update, I actually decided that I did want to cut my curtain bangs shorter. So that's what I'm going to show you here. Since the layers are already practically done, I'm just going to go ahead and do the same triangle method that I did previously, except this time my chin is going to be the longest length of the curtain bangs, and then my nose is going to be the shortest. And I did this because if you cut it at the nose, you can still tuck your hair behind your ears, right? So personally, I just cut everything off up until the chin. Up to the chin? Question mark? And then I just kind of comb it out just to make sure that I'm seeing things properly. And starting from the nose, doing another diagonal cut downwards. And I don't know why it does this, but like when you cut your hair, like I swear it moves, and it really annoys me. But if you just like slide your hands down, it'll even out and you can just cut it a bit better. And this is what we're left with. Just repeat that on the other side, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do the same type of like blending, I guess, that I did at the end. Except I'm gonna not start at the very end of the bang, and I left like, I don't know, 2 inches, because I did want the bangs to be a bit choppier, if that makes sense. You don't have to do that, but this is personally what I chose to do. And that is it. Again, since the layers were already done, I didn't have to worry about that, but this is what it looks like unstyled, no product, anything. I forgot to film like videos of this on the same day, but I did style it that same day and took like a few pictures. So here are just a couple different like angles, I guess, for you to take a look at and I guess examine if this is something you want to do or not. Ignore the bad lighting on this one. If you have enjoyed this type of content, or if you found this useful to you at all, feel free to like and subscribe. Also leave me a comment down below in case you have any suggestions. I would like to start posting more regularly, I just have not done so. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you try it out, feel free to DM me on Instagram. I'd love to see how it came out. And that's it for this video, so see you in the next one.